Hello, hello. Let's see if it's all working real quick. Always gotta double check and make sure your stuff's actually working. Oops. Oh, seems to be working. Sick. Cool. Well, I guess I got a lot to talk about. Not a lot of time. I'd like to finish this stream before the wife gets off work. So, probably only an hour or so, give or take. But I don't know, man. The world's just in a state of disrepair. Will Smith, Smith, Smith? What? Will, Smith, Smith. Oh, Will Smith, Smith. That kind of cheered me up a little bit. That was funny. At least we got simple games like this to play and just hang out and try and not think about the world. I don't even want to play like Battlefield or anything because it just reminds me of the fact that we might be in that situation very soon. People be like, oh, you're a doomer. No. Nah. 4 years ago, I would have been a doomer for saying stuff like that. Now, it's just the really depressing truth is it seems like that's what everyone wants. It doesn't even seem like people are trying to avoid it anymore. It seems like that's what they want. Who are they? I don't know. I don't. I'm already sounding like a conspiracy theorist just simply by having this conversation. So I might as well just, you know, go full tilt into it. But that said, conspiracy theorists with, some recently, I want to say leaked, but they're not really leaked. They're, what do you call it? They were put out officially by the government, certain bit of information that I won't say the name of because this video will probably just be immediately taken down by the algorithm. Oh crap, my volume's on my phone. There we go. Yeah, I don't know, man. We're about to lose all of our rights for the internet. You thought that it was going to end at them just taking the internet from kids? Well, it sounds like social media and stuff is about to die as a whole as well. If the whole, what is it, Article 230 in the States? But because the States is one of the main consumers of, uh, social media and such, it's pretty much if the States does it, the rest of the world can expect it. And I mean, considering the state of the world, it's not it's the part that's upsetting me so much and is making it just I don't want to say depressing because I'd like to say right now I'm not the type of person that would ever remove himself from this existence. So in the event that I was somehow to get popular and people actually listen to what I have to say, I'll say right now I'm not the type of person to remove myself from existence. In fact, I'm the type of person to continue to exist just to spite everybody else. Uh, just a quick little on the topic of this game. It's awesome. I really like it. It's a lot of fun. It's really chill. It's flowy. The physics in it are nice. Make it even better. Not that anybody particularly cares, but it's, as far as I'm aware, made by like one person. Maybe a couple of people have helped, but it's all done by Mash Games. You go into the Discord or anything, Mash is the person you'll be talking to, the same person putting out the updates. He'll literally go into the Discord, ask people if they're having issues, and then within 30 minutes there will be an update going out if people are having issues. Otherwise, he's just constantly improving it. Be like, I know there's a lot of people that saw that and they went, well, that didn't seem very realistic. Well, the game's still in early access technically. Or at least it's hard to call it a full complete game when he's still doing so many updates to it and such. It's just, how do I put this that isn't like immediate violation of terms of service or anything? The world has gone crazier and crazier to the point we are at is the point where, like I said before, the most truthful people in the world are turning out to be the freaking conspiracy theorists. What kind of world do we live in where the conspiracy theorists are the people that are regularly being proven right? Like, no, the earth isn't flat. I'm gonna get that out of the way right here. But, like, I'm sorry, who had a big play in microtransactions being so prevalent in video games? What? That's actually a thing? Why is Five Nights and Freddy's in there? Like, it's just it's a very, how do I put it? Uh, I mean, odd is, we passed odd in like 2016. The world was odd in 2016. The world now is, well, it seems like honestly it's just not made for people like us, the normal people. But I find it funny because if it's not for us, it's not for anybody. Because as much as the billionaires would love to say that AI and robots will be able to make everything for them soon, it's not that simple. And there's a reason why oh, I'm dead. There's a reason why AI is starting to fail. Because if you don't have our support from the beginning, it's really hard to get anything going. Like you at least need the people's support in the beginning. That's why we've got Jensen Huang and Bill Gates and all these other billionaire CEOs that are out here telling us to stop calling AI slop, even though all it has proven, like I was always of the the thought process, or at least I was raised to believe that you prove yourself before you deserve any real respect or anything. Like obviously don't treat somebody rudely just because they haven't proved themselves to you, which is why I'm not out calling AI a clanker or anything like that. But at the same time, why should we give it any sort of respect when all it's proven to us is that it's going to take our jobs? It's like multiple politicians have already said straight up that they are not a fan of universal basic income, but they are a fan of all of our jobs being destroyed by something that can do it for cheaper and make a lower quality product. It's like the same thing as when uh, the Chinese industrial complex first came to be, and all of North America's work got shipped off to China very quickly, and many people were so mad about these Chinese factories that were putting out poor quality products at a much cheaper price so that these billionaires could make bigger wages. And that's what it's always been. That's always been the issue, is that there's people that enough is never enough. And it really should be. The greed on this planet is just, it's ridiculous. All I want is a roof over my head that I don't have to worry about. A vehicle that can get me from point A to point B, because I live in a country that is giant. And for me to go to the closest uh, major city center by driving is a 20-minute drive. It would be give or take a 2 to 3 hour walk. I live rural. I like living rural. I work on an orchard. Uh, like I don't really see how that was a cool transfer. I don't see how any of this is going to get us any further as a society. Or at least if it does, something has to give. Either the billionaires have to give up some of their money for the rest of us to be able to live okay lives. I'm not saying great lives, okay lives. Or, you know, you gotta get rid of the population that's being a problem. And that's just the truth of it. You're not a part of the solution, you're a part of the problem. That's the way the billionaires and such feel about it too. I mean, you can hear it. You can hear it in the way they talk about it now. They're mad at us for being rude to their AI. They're mad at us for saying that they are profiting from everything that's making our lives more miserable. And I mean, I can go into a lot more than just AI. Like even just on all the this for example, this game that I'm currently playing right now is a great game made by somebody that enjoys riding their bike. Um, where I live, mountain biking and BMX and all that are fairly culturally significant. I kind of live in a bit of a mecca for some of the best mountain bikers and some of the best BMXers, although we're more so mountain bikers out here in the world. And that's slowly dying off because, well, it's more profitable to develop the land than keep a few mountain bike trails there. And then if they do allow the mountain bike trails to stay in the region, eventually the people that move in will complain about it. It's the same thing that happens to drag strips, happens to anything noisy, anything that people find fun. Because when people have fun, they make a lot of noise. It's very rare that you're doing something fun that doesn't make noise that's annoying to somebody. People would be like, well, how is mountain biking fun? Well, if I was, or how is mountain biking noisy? Sorry, of course it's fun. How is it noisy? You go off a jump and you're like, yeah, that was fun. Yeah, that's annoying to somebody. They're like, well, those are the fun police. Well, unfortunately, those are the people that own the property that your trail's on. So that trail's just gone now. You just don't get to ride there anymore. Well, I'll find somewhere else to ride. It's probably illegal. It's probably crown land or something where somebody doesn't want to deal with the liability issues of it. So you can't do that. Okay, well, I'll go to another sport then. Which one? Honestly, like, you gonna go do motocross? Okay, well, go to your nearest track, I guess. Because out here, at least, there's very few places where you're still legally allowed to ride your motorcycle. Or, like, not motorcycle. But you're still legally allowed to ride your dirt bike. There's a couple places. They're all far drives. They're all going to cost you an arm and a leg just to get there because fuel is so goddamn expensive. And then once you get there, they're going to cost you an arm and a leg because there's a good chance that it's not free to be there. And if it is free to be there, in Canada where I live, you have to have insurance on your motorcycle. Yes, even off-road dirt bikes, you have to have insurance on. I know that's getting more common in the States. Uh, right? So there's $300 a year for you to use your dirt bike, hopefully more than 10 times that whole year. And then if you want to go to the track, my God, there is not a single track I have been anywhere near I've looked at going to a few. I've only ever been to one because it was all I could afford at the time. Because they want you to pay, or at least the track that was nearest to me at that time wanted me to pay for a membership, and then on top of the membership, you also had to pay for your day pass. There was a more premium one, of course, that was like over $1,000 that included your day passes, like a just like a ski resort or anything else. Don't even get me started on ski resorts. Oh my God. I want to talk about something that's just ridiculously expensive. Which, like, I get it. Yeah, it costs money to hire these people. It costs money to keep your chairlifts up to good quality. It costs money to do all of this stuff. I get it. But unfortunately, it's gotten to the point where fun is too expensive for the majority of us, and then people like me are left to hopefully, if you're fortunate enough like me, you have a computer or something where you can at least go play a video game that, again, hopefully nobody gets upset about and ruins for everybody else that actually plays the game, because that seems to be the I can't believe I just did that while barely trying. That seems to be the conclusion, is that a lot of these people that are out here being activists and trying to get these things implemented into video games, getting them brought into the real world even, they're paid to do that. And it's not even like a conspiracy theory. No, there's actual activisty ad I don't know what the word for it is. Act activist groups that are paid protesters. They are paid to go out and cause a ruckus. In some situations, they have even been proven to have been paid to cause a ruckus to basically make it so the protesters that were there that actually had a problem were basically just waved off. Like, oh, you guys are just here to cause a ruckus, so we're not going to listen to you. That's right. Protesters to make protesters look bad so that they didn't listen to the protest. That is an actual thing. I don't have the whatever you call it. The I should really just do this as a proper video. Oh, what? Okay, I don't know how I made that. I should do this as a proper video so that I can back up everything I say. But you are welcome to Google and look this stuff up for yourself if it has so far raised any suspicions of yours. Because it's, yeah, it's bad. No matter how you look at it, it's bad. It's not going to be very long before it is basically illegal to have fun because it offends somebody or because it could be misconstrued as gang activity or something ridiculous. Trust me, when the day comes, it will be ridiculous, but everybody will just turn a cheek to it because they'll say, oh, it wasn't as bad as this that happened, or maybe it will be just as bad, but at the end of the day, they'll be like, well, we've already been through this, this, and this. What's this to add on to it? Interesting. You know, it's, whoa. It's just, it, yeah, it's just really hard. Really hard to just exist. Now, when I say that, don't be thinking like, oh, well, he earlier said he didn't want to remove himself from existence, but it sure sounds like he does. No, I don't. I want to do something drastic. That's what I would like to do. But alas, by myself, I am but a man. everybody likes to think of themselves as the next John Wick or some shit like that, but when it really comes down to it, if you were to try and do what you're thinking about doing, it would never work out. Interesting. Huh. Yeah, it's got some physics bugs to get worked out. No doubt about that. But whatever. It's still a fun game. A lot of fun. God damn it. Yeah. I love that it's BMX streets, but I am in the forest. Riding a full suspension BMX. That doesn't even really make sense to me, but did they actually make a full suspension BMX? I don't know. I never would have been able to afford it anyway. I rode my buddy's Sunday once. That was sick. Okay, I thought there was about to be a puking cat in my house. It almost sounded like that distinct croak they make beforehand. Yeah. It's like what are we even doing? Whatever happened to the times when people actually got upset about stuff? Like people get upset now and then they post it on social media and then they talk about it to their coworkers and never do anything. A lot of talk, no do. Here I am, just talking, no doing. But it's like okay, realistically at the end of the day, no matter what you do, they're going to stop it before anything happens. You try and organize something, even if you were to try and use the dark web to organize something, they would find out. They'd get to the bottom of it. They have bugs everywhere. There's probably somebody listening. Well, maybe not somebody, but they've probably got an AI or something that's currently listening to this stream, deciding whether or not they want to just stop the stream from happening. There's a good chance that this video will see literally nobody. Not a single person will ever watch this. Other than maybe me 10 years in the future going, I really should have done something. But alas, what am I to do? I can't do anything about your politics, and I'm not particularly that upset about my own, other than the fact that, I mean, rightfully so, my Prime Minister, Governor Carney, as they like to call him, uh, he's better than Trudeau was for having a spine, but Canada itself is so spineless. And like literally too, like we have no back. It's not even like we just sit down, shut up and take it all the time. We have nothing to back it up with. What the hell are we gonna do against the very large big brother that we have? Why did it do that? Whatever. You know, really, what's anybody to do? It's a monopoly on the entire planet. And they have somebody in charge now that realizes it's a monopoly on the whole planet and is doing everything in his power to take advantage of it while nobody can do anything about it. Oh, so close. Oh god, I cannot play this in. God, no. No. That field of view is terrible and it rocks around way too much. I don't know. What do I know? I'm just some random Canadian dude. That I think feels the same thing that a lot of people across the entire planet feel. And we're still out here acting like it's a America problem, it's a Canada problem, it's a Europe problem. No, no. It's a global problem. It's a new world order problem. People love hearing that, don't they? The new world order. How scary it is. Brr. Well, if the new I don't see how anybody could ever see things changing when they refuse to change anything, you know? It's like, oh, what the hell is a new world order? Just the rich control everything? Because isn't that how it's been for like the past 200 years? Or was there actually still a semblance of democracy until just recently? I thought it was pretty much just confirmed that like either you're rich or you're along for the ride. Broken ribs, just keep riding. It's okay. Oh. Okay, maybe it's not okay. I It sucks. I don't know how many times I can say it. It sucks. And what really sucks too is I don't like attention. I don't like. I am extremely agoraphobic. I hate crowded places. I hate lots of people. I do not like people paying attention to me. That's why I live rurally. That's why I work in an orchard, not an office or something. That's why I play single player video games. I and that's why you don't see a face cam right now. I don't want people to know who I am. I don't want my name out there, but if that's what it takes to help change everything, I'll happily be the scapegoat. If I can make the whole world better and have a target on my back, so be it. As long as the whole world ends up better for it after, I will happily take that target. I will happily be found with 2 self-inflicted gunshots to the back of my head. Those who know know. Yeah. Good times, right? It's good times. It's all good times. No bad days. No bad days. Can you actually? You know what? It's not wrong. No bad days. You can't have a bad day when they're all suck. Bad day means that you had a good one. If they're all bad, sounds like you had a bunch of average days. What else can I say? Like, I wish there was more positivity in the world. It's really freaking, like, I am so guilty for it. That's one thing I will 100% say. I am not the most positive person in the world. And it's because it's freaking hard to be positive right now. You really got to find the good in the world. And to those people that are living every day with a smile on their face, I salute you, honestly. I freaking salute you. And if you live every day with a smile on your face and you know what's going on in the world, I just wish that I had your mental fortitude. Because I don't know how it is in the States, but here in Canada, we really don't have much restricted news. I've heard in the States, some stuff really isn't talked about. But like, I hear about what's going on in France, I hear about what's going on in Spain, all over Europe, all over the world. There's uproar, there's people angry, there's people dying over stupid, stupid things. And there's people saying it's not my problem while being in a position of power. Yeah, I get it, Elon. World hunger isn't your problem, but literally a under 25% of your $1 trillion uh who is it? The is it WHO, I believe? World Health Organization? When Elon did that thing and said, "Oh, you know, I will give anyone the money that can come up with a plan to solve world hunger." And the WHO came up with a plan, and then he took down the tweet. The guy literally was about to make it his problem and had the money to solve it. Actually had the money to solve it. Half of the world hunger problem is a logistics problem. It's not even a, oh, we don't have the food to give them. It's hard to get the food to them. And it's especially hard to organize anything within government organizations. And anybody that disagrees with that clearly hasn't worked for the government. I can confidently say I alone have cost the government somewhere in the realm well, sorry, I have not cost them. I charged the government, would have had to have been close to $38,000, $40,000 because they told us to come out to do some work and then weren't ready for us because nobody in the government communicated with amongst themselves to say, hey, yeah, we're ready for these guys to come out and do their work. This is when I was working in a different industry from the orchard. But yeah, 2 days in a row we came out, charged a 4 hour min to sit on site with multiple vehicles worth of equipment uh, for them to go, I guess you'll have to come back another time. To make it even better, you just think about the like $40,000 of taxpayer money that was wasted for me to sit there with our equipment, right? Here's the better part. What about all the money that our company lost out on because we did not do work for other clients? You'd be like, oh, well, you guys got paid a 4 hour min to do nothing. Yeah, our company barely made any money on that. Seriously. Because they have to pay us, and that equipment wasn't making money. It wasn't actually working. Yeah, they'll pay the charge out for it, and the bosses will make a little bit of money, but they would have made way more if it was on site for 10 hours working. And that's just one example from me alone. And that one site was probably about $40,000. And that's not the only time that they've done that. In fact, it's a very common thing for us to have been called out to a government site, get there, and then the people that are there working for the government go, what are you doing here? We go, we were contracted to come out today? Well, I was never told about it. Okay, well, here's the contract that says we're supposed to come here and do this. This is where we're supposed to do it. Oh, yeah, yeah, I know about where you're supposed to do it and everything. It just wasn't supposed to be yet. We're not ready for you. That was so common, man. It is ridiculous. All the people on this planet that are unhappy with how much they have, and they don't have bad lives. You know, they've only got one beach house, and that's not enough for them. They want a beach house on every continent. And I wish I was joking, but I guarantee you there's people out there that think like that. And will, in fact, act on it. Oh my gosh. Yay, I actually made it. Cool. I just want to live in a. My wife says this all the time. I just want to live in a not historically significant period of time. Because goddamn if we ain't gonna get our own entire textbook for this time in history. If there is history after this. That implies that we've made it after this. And again, I don't mean to sound like a doomer, but the world's heating up to a boiling point. Joseph Seed might have had a little bit more to that than we thought. And if you don't get that reference, you got to play more video games. It's the only way that we get culture anymore. And people, there's so many people too that love to be like, oh, go touch grass. You know, you just got to spend more time out in reality. It's like, no, every time I go out into reality, I just don't want to be there anymore. It's just terrible. You know, I live in a rural area, and that population center that's like 15, 20 minutes from me driving, if I was to go into downtown, I would likely see a lot of people getting too much of a good thing and being administered things to get rid of that too much of a good thing. And I'm not saying that it's actually a good thing. I'm just trying to be as what even was that? I'm trying to not get. Well, I mean, this isn't monetized, but just removed from the site entirely because I don't really know what's even safe to talk about on YouTube anymore. Wow. I just want to live a normal life. I want to live the life that my grandparents told me about. Where my grandpa freaking worked an 8 hour a day job, sometimes 9 or 10 hours, made like maybe $1,500 a month, and that afforded them to have, and I kid you not, because I grew up in this house, a 3 story. I guess when they bought it, it was a 4 bedroom, but ended up being a 5 bedroom with a full basement suite. My grandma wasn't working at the time, and they managed to live on that relatively cheaply, but they managed to live on that. If I made $1,500 a month, I probably wouldn't be able to afford rent, honestly, where I live. Maybe I could get a room and like eventually I could save up enough for a hot plate, But otherwise, I'm going to be eating fast food, which is more expensive than cooking for myself most of the time. Some stuff is way more expensive at the grocery store than it is fast food. It's like how is our generation getting blamed? I guess technically I'm a millennial, but like the Zoomers, Generation X, whatever, no, Generation Z. I don't even know what the generations are. The most recent generation that everyone's being like, oh, kids these days, rah, shakes fist at child. Um, what the hell are they even supposed to do? And also, how can you blame them when you're the ones that raised us? If anything, I blame the millennial generation, or I guess Generation X, because that would be what my parents were. And goddamn, if that ain't a generation of parents that really just didn't put in that much effort. It was the generation of laissez-faire parenting. And yeah, there's always kids that, oh, my kid went to private school. I was a very strict parent with them. Okay, there's exceptions to every rule. I'm just saying what the general demographic did at that time. And I can confidently tell you that the repercussions for it are being felt now. I can't remember where it was, but I remember seeing a thing that was something along the lines of good times make soft men. Soft men make hard times. Hard times make hard men. Hard men make easy times. Easy times make soft men. And I guess right now we are actually kind of dealing with multiple of those issues at once now, where we've got hard times and soft folk that don't really want to actually do anything about it. They just want to bitch and moan. Just tell me when and where to be. Also, can somebody explain to me why in the year 2026 two guys can get in an argument and then go get tens of thousands of people killed over their argument? And yes, I'm talking about Ukraine in particular. But of course, there's a chance that it could go much further than Ukraine. And I'm not even just talking about that specific war. I'm talking about the fact that there's multiple others that keep being taunted. I'm not saying anybody's saying, oh, I'm going to start a war. I'm just saying that everybody loves to threaten it. Everybody loves to threaten it. And sooner or later, somebody's going to call a bluff. So either y'all got to stop threatening it, or it's going to happen. You will manifest your destiny. And yes, I know Manifest Destiny was not about that. It was much more horrific, but uh, yeah. You know what? I don't even care if it's like how it was when my grandparents were around. God, when I was a kid, even the town that I grew up in, which I don't live there anymore, but like it used to be this small little rural town that had a population of like maybe 1,500 people, maybe in the whole area of it. And it was awesome. Everybody knew everybody. I like like for example, I was at the skate park once when I was like 10 years old. The street lights had just come on. I knew, okay, I got to go home soon. My mom had decided, no, you need to come home now. You want to know how she got a hold of me? She knew that I was at the skate park because I told her that. So she called the person that lived right next door to the skate park because she knew her. And then she came out and said, "Hey, bud, you gotta go home. Your mom's getting worried about you." That's the kind of town that I grew up in. That's not where I live now, but that's the kind of town I live in now. And like, I just don't understand why it's like not allowed to exist anymore. It's not even to the point that it's getting hard to find. It's not allowed to exist. Where I currently live, they're developing it. I'm gonna have to move out within the next probably 6 years or so. I got about 6 years before the big development plans are supposed to be through with. Where my house currently exists, which was built in the 1800s, it's not a heritage house though, because I don't want to have to deal with that, uh, is going to be medium and high density condos. And we all know what the condos bring. They bring crime, they bring overpopulation, which also brings homelessness, which brings more crime, which means that this small rural town is not going to be a good place to grow up anymore. You're like, oh, growing up in the city makes you hard. No, it doesn't. It exposes you to shit that you should never be exposed to in your whole life. You grow up in the city and then you come out to the farmland and realize that all of that city knowledge is useless. The only thing that's useful is knowing when to open your mouth. But that's unanimous, regardless of how you grew up or anything. That's unanimous. I guess not though, because there seems to be a lot of people that don't know when to close their mouth, and there seems to be a lot of people that are too scared to say when something's wrong. I don't know. Explain to me why nobody gets called out on their BS anymore. You know? Why the fuck is there people online that are just fucking talking shit? They're just talking shit. All they do is talk shit. That's their whole motive. Entire pages dedicated to talking shit, to just making other people feel terrible. And they call it, oh, I'm trolling, bro. Don't get so upset. That's not a normal thing to do. A jester is a normal thing. To make simple jokes is a normal thing. To go out and purposely hurt other people's feelings and try to upset them as much as you can in order to make a joke, bro. Just take the joke. It's not a joke. You're asking to get your fucking teeth knocked in. There is a place for those people, but for some reason they seem to forget about it. 50 Cent is a perfect example of somebody that basically shit talks for a living, and I fully support him for it. Why? Because he shit talks really shitty people. He makes a point of calling out people on their BS. Time is it? No, I'm almost out of time. Yeah, I don't know, man. It is so frustrating. Ah, oh, god damn it. I'm a dumbass. Hit the wrong button. Uh, the amount of money, like just to put into perspective. So like, I'm not even, no, I'm not going to try and say some bullshit statistic. But I know for a fact that the one the 1% 1% of the population controls somewhere along the lines of like 60% of all of the money on the planet. 60% of all the money on the planet. Think about that for a second. Because those people, although they are making some large purchases, the majority of that money is just sitting in stocks. It's just sitting. It's not doing literally anything other than making them more money. Like if you or I had money, you would think, okay, I'm going to, I'll build myself a new house. I want a nice house. If I'm, we're just saying I'm a millionaire. I want a nice house. Okay, well, I'm going to hire a local company. I'm going to make sure that as many products as I can are going to be local so that I'm putting the money back into my economy. That's not what these billionaires are doing. They are putting their money in a place where that money can go directly back into their wallet, to the point that they will just buy up companies so that when they go to buy something from that company, they are literally just circling money. That's where this whole AI bubble talk is coming from, because you have companies like Nvidia that control, the majority of all the uh, AI data center graphics cards that are, you know, investing billions into the companies creating the AI, which are then investing billions back into Nvidia. So you see how it's, if not bubble, why bubble shaped? Oh, there's lots of other stuff that's bringing money into it. No, there's multiple stats that have come out just recently saying that AI, if anything, is costing companies more money than it's saving them, because the tools are simply not doing what we were originally told they were going to do. We were told that the rate of expansion on these tools would be much, much faster. That's the thing that people forget about too, is that AI could just hit a plateau. There could just be a point where it can't really get any better without massive amounts of energy and infrastructure to support it. And I think AI might be a part of the problem in more ways than one. Because something that people forget about is AI is a large language model. Most AIs, at least. LLMs. That's what they are. They're large language models. They take words, they find the patterns, basically, between them, and they go, oh, okay, this is how you talk. Wow. Like it's, oh, sorry, I forgot my train of thought there. Um, these are algorithms. These are super advanced algorithms. They are pattern finding, pattern recognizing algorithms. So who's to say that these extremely complex algorithms are not being used to write the narrative with how smart they are? You think like, oh, how could that happen? And here's where the conspiracy talk comes in, but it's not even like an outrageous conspiracy or anything. Uh, it is absolutely not, uh, or it's absolutely plausible that one of the first things that they decided to use these actually pretty smart AIs for was basically sorting through social media, which, keep in mind, most social media is owned by Meta or Google or Elon. You got three people that own almost all social media, or three large groups, conglomerates. Those are basically monopolies. There's no way that you could compete with them, but they'll say they're not monopolies because they compete with each other. It would be absolutely reasonable for them to all conspire together and say, okay, so how are we going to get the planet to support this AI that's going to make us millions by saving us so much money? Well, we'll just get the AI to repeatedly fill their feeds full of pro AI footage, especially any AI artwork that comes out looking half decent. Be like, oh, I can tell any AI artwork out. I thought so too until recently I saw something that I did not know was AI. I was like, wow, that's really cool. I can't even remember. Oh, it was a guy getting bit by a snake. That's all it was a guy getting bit by a snake. And I watched the video a couple times because at first I was like, oh, that looks like AI. And then I looked at it a bit more and I'm like, oh no, you can see the back of the snake over here. Like, oh, okay, the continuity and everything lines up. There's no watermarks, no nothing. Uh, yeah, no, it was AI. It was 100% AI. I thought I knew. I thought I was better than it, but it's gotten so good now that it's almost impossible to tell. And it won't be very long before they're using that against you. Or you're gonna see a video, and then the next video you see is gonna be an advertisement from Instagram or something saying, "Hey, did you know that that was an AI video?" And it's not to scare you or anything; it's to shock you and make you go, "Oh wow, really? That's impressive. That's crazy." That's how they're gonna market it to you, and then suddenly you're okay with it. Like, oh wow, this AI thing's not so bad. And then when you hear about your nice cushy office position being taken by another version of that same AI, you might not be so upset about it because you'll look at it and go, well, I mean, look at all the good it can do. That's, I mean, look at how crazy good it is now. I want normalcy back. I want to just go to the mall, talk to people without feeling like everybody is just livid about something. I don't know if you've noticed it, but anytime I go to a public place now, it feels like everybody is so mad about something. And I get that, yeah, there's lots of people that are still just out there living their lives being happy, and I applaud them for it. And I think absolutely keep spreading your positivity, kings and queens. But goddamn, can't we do something about this for the rest of us? And I hate to say it, but also I do notice a trend. And I hate to say things like this because it's biased. I didn't grow up in a fortunate upbringing or anything. I was evicted as a child. Well, like my parents were evicted. I was essentially homeless multiple times. Thankfully, my grandparents took pretty good care of me when that stuff happened. And I don't expect any pity for it. If I ever hear a single "I'm sorry" about that, I swear to God, man. Ooh, okay. I didn't want to go to flat. Yeah, I notice a lot of the people that I can't even fucking talk about this. This is stupid. So stupid. I'm in a bad mood, and it's stupid. Now I'm about to go to that industry I told you about earlier in this, where I said that we ended up charging the government like 40 grand because they couldn't get their shit together. Yeah, I'm gonna go back and do a job for them for a couple weeks on a contract. I'm gonna make like 9 grand. Make like nine, yeah, about 9 grand before tax. Which I mean, I live in Canada, so I'm gonna make like 4,500 bucks. um, but in like 2 weeks. And I told my grandma about it, and she's like, "Oh my god, that's amazing! Like that's as much as your grandpa made in like 2 months. Never mind 2 weeks." And my grandpa was a fairly well-paid heavy equipment operator. And she's like, "What are you gonna do with all that money?" And I'm like, "Pay my bills, save it, if there is any left to save." And that shocked her. She was flabbergasted. She didn't understand. And she asked me like, "Well, how many bills do you have?" I have my truck, which I have a very reasonable payment on, especially for the amount of money I was making when I bought it. And no, it's not a Dodge 3500 or anything like that. I just drive a Tacoma. And I bought a Tacoma because I was smart enough to recognize that if I buy a brand new Tacoma, it'll just hold its resale value for a while and I won't really have to worry about it. And at this point, I owe far less on it than it's worth. And I have my mortgage, which is a $200,000 mortgage. And no, that is not the full purchase price of the house. It was like over 3 times more than that, but I was able to get away with just pulling out a $200,000 mortgage. I made really good money. I got out of that industry because there was no real point to stay in it anymore now that I had bought my house. People be like, "Oh, didn't you want to keep making good money?" Yeah, I don't know if you do the math on that. I bought a $700,000 house. Oh, and I guess I can also add in, I am on this day 28 years old. Let me tell you, if you've ever thought that you don't have a good work-life balance, there was no such thing as a work-life balance in the industry I worked in. You were at work, you were at home for a couple of days, and you were back at work for weeks on end. You get flown across the country, across the planet. It's cool. If you're single, you want to explore the whole world, I'll tell you what industry it was. Get into drilling. And I'm not talking oil and gas, I'm talking environmental and geotechnical. You get into that industry, I mean, oil and gas is valuable too, but it's a lot harder to get into if you don't have oil and gas near you. Environmental and geotechnical is everywhere. They're putting in a dam, they got to do a geotechnical investigation. They're building pretty much anything in Canada, they have to do an environmental investigation. Or both. There's so much money in it. It's economy resistant, crash resistant, whatever. You will notice a difference in work during a market crash, but it's usually very short-lived because the first way that the governments will try to re-stimulate the economy is to get construction and everything going. And in order to build stuff, they got to do geotechnical investigations. So you're one of the first crews to get sent back out when the economy comes back. It's an extremely well-paying job. At 23, I made my no, 22, I made my first $100,000. Uh, yeah, 22, I made my first 100 grand in uh, like 1 year. I had made well over 100 grand at this point, but in 1 year, I made my first 100 grand. It was like $103,000 at 23. Some people are probably like, why do you even have payments on your truck at that amount of money? Number one, because when I bought it, I did not have that much money. Keep in mind, I was a 23-year-old when I made my first 100 grand. I did not necessarily spend it on the smartest things. But I at least was smart enough to not spend it all. Charlie Sheen would have been proud of me for a year. Or very disappointed. I don't know. What the hell was that? Oh, that would have been sick. Like a rodeo flip, I think. I can do it. On 360 backflip. Nope. Or I guess it's a 720 backflip. Or cork 720? Oh, over rotated. Well, that was sad. I just want to enjoy a video game without my brain racing at 1,000,000 miles an hour telling me nothing is going to be okay. In an anxiety sort of way, not a depression sort of way. Like, I feel like my fight or flight reflexes have been on for weeks at this point. I shake when I walk across my house. Try to talk about anything deep and I find my voice cracking. People be like, oh, you're a pussy. Am I? Because, like, I'm not the only person that's noticing it. I'm not the only person that's feeling different about things. And also, like, my life isn't terrible. That's one thing that's really hard to construe. My life nowadays is awesome, honestly. I have all the money I need. I don't need any more. I have my own house, a roof over my head that I don't have to worry about because my mortgage isn't crazy expensive. I've got a reliable truck. You know, like I've got everything I need. And I don't want more. The only thing I want is for these other problems to stop. Just for them to stop. I thought I was going to say more there, but honestly, I just want these other problems to stop. This is so ridiculous. And I'd love to put the big T-man. I mean, he's definitely at the top of it. But there's more problems than just him in the world. The fact that he even got to where he is one of the problems. I don't remember a single time when it was seen as acceptable to nominate a celebrity as the President of the United States. Oh, he's a really good businessman. No, he's a bully and a pretty terrible businessman because, like, you damn near got to try to bankrupt a casino. I ain't never going to let him live that one down, and I don't think many people are. How do you bankrupt a casino? Also, how do you shut down the government this much? How do you commit so many impeachable offenses without being impeached? These are all things that are not necessarily a problem with the man himself, but a problem with everything around him that is allowing it to keep happening. Like, y'all literally just said that, oh yeah, the President of the United States, he is above everything else. I don't care who you think you are, If you're talking to the President of the United States, he's above you. Well, he's the leader of the most powerful country in the world. Don't you think that's dangerous? To have one guy have that much power over the most powerful country in the world? Does that not sound dangerous? To me, that sounds really dangerous and irresponsible. Like, I wouldn't give a 5-year-old a shotgun, and I certainly wouldn't give just any old person the keys to the kingdom of. I ain't even gonna try and assume how many planet-destroying weapons. Or, sorry, I should say there is people that would give a 5-year-old a shotgun. You wouldn't just hand it to them, you know? You would give them training. You're not just gonna hand them a shotgun and say, "All right, Billy, go shoot some stuff." It's a good chance Billy ain't gonna come back from that. But yeah, if anybody did decide to watch this, I appreciate it. Don't bother giving it a like. If you want to comment on anything I've talked about, you're absolutely welcome to. I may or may not read it. I don't know. I'm just in a bad mood. I wanted to very poorly voice some of the things that were going on in my head. Kind of just using the whole streaming thing as a screaming room. So, minus the screaming. I don't like the loud noises. I just would really like for shit to be normal. Give me normal. Please. Please give me normal. Just anything normal. Please. Real quick, I want to see what this has on it. Nope, nope. Oh my gosh. First, because this doesn't control my camera. Okay. Is this AI generated? This is AI generated. That writing and either it's AI generated. Oh, wait. And no, I'm not moving the camera around. That's just the dude. I'm pretty sure this is AI generated. That's unfortunate. It's an early access. I don't care. It's made by one guy. One person made this game. I'll do one more pass on Vortex and then I'll call it. I don't want to be acting like this when the wife gets home. She doesn't deserve to deal with this kind of any. Oh, no, I said oh, god damn it. That I would complete one on Vortex. And if you're wondering, this is uh well, obviously the game is BMX Streets. It's on, I think it's about to be released on PS5. It's on Xbox Series X and S. It's also on, I'm playing it currently on PC. It's a lot of fun. Super chill. There's no career or anything, so you get everything unlocked right from the moment you download the game. It's just kind of a game to chill out, shoot the poop. I don't even know why. Shoot the shit. I gotta stop not cursing. I try to do streams where I'm like kind of family friendly, and then I try to do streams like this where I'm just raw, raw. And then I forget on streams like this that I can curse and just be like, go fuck yourself. And then other streams, I forget I can't curse. Really, none of my streams are actually properly family friendly. Although I try to avoid talking about too many dark topics and such. Unfortunately, the world's just in a place where these things need to be talked about, because if we don't talk about them, everyone's just going to forget about it. And that seems to be what the ideal outcome is for a lot of people, is that everybody just forgets that these things exist and we go on with our happy little lives. We own nothing. We're happy about owning nothing. We rent all of our services from 1% of the population who take in over 50% of the money, and we just accept that that money is never going to be seen by anybody again other than these huge multi-billion-dollar corporations. It's funny too, because like there's got to be a point where the money kind of becomes valueless, you know? Like there's a point where you literally just don't need more money, so why even why even bother? Or I guess then you start trading in more sinister things. Like, as the Hunger Games put it, secrets. Okay. I can't believe I survived that. Oh. Give me freedom. Why is there borders? Why is there borders? Would a lot of the problems of borders not be solved by simply not having them? Like, really? You know, I get it if you want to run your entire country based off of religious values or something, that you would want to keep borders, because let's be real here, it's way too easy to infringe upon that. And when I say that, I mean like, if you run your whole country off of religious values, like some Middle Eastern countries, uh, it would take a lot less propaganda than you think to dismantle your entire government. Religion's done a lot of good things for people, but it's killed a lot more. I'm currently struggling to even think of a single one that doesn't. How is that? Oh, interesting. Yeah. If you decided to watch this, thanks. If not, go fuck yourself. Is there no game audio? Oh, oops. Whatever. Yeah, I don't know. Damn. I don't even know, guys. I just want to move into the woods, far away from anybody, and just do my own thing. But I couldn't even do that because there's a good chance at some point those woods would get developed and I would get found and probably thrown in jail for not paying taxes to a government I don't really support. But you have no choice. You have no choice. You will deal with these things and you will be happy about it. And even if you're not happy about it, nobody cares. Or at least it seems like nobody cares. As the old saying went, when John when they came for John, I did not help because I did not know John. And when they came for Susie, I did not help because I did not know Susie. When they came for Kevin, I did not help because I did not know Kevin. And when they came for me, there was nobody left to help. Y'all try and have a good day, at least a better one than me.